What is going on, my broskies? My name is Toadski and I am back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece treasure cruise video. And today we're going to be talking about the brand new Fortnite island that will be coming to One Piece treasure cruise global version, being Absalom's very manly adventure, which is Absalom. A brand new character coming to One Piece treasure cruise in his Fortnite dungeon. So, without further ado guys, if you do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to smack the like button down below. But without further ado guys, let's get straight into the video. So let's start off by looking at Absalom himself. So this is the evolved version of Absalom. There's actually a 3-star version that you do get when you drop Absalom inside the dungeon, and this is the evolved version. He does evolve at level 50 as a 3-star unit, and he is a strength shooter type character. Now at level 1, as you can see, he's got 1271 HP, 545 attack, and 77 recovery. He's actually got pretty decent stats for a level 1 4-star unit. And then when he is maxed out at level 99, he has 2600 health, 1000 attack, and 192, nearly 200 recovery. So those are actually massive stats for a 4-star unit. Like, those are really, really powerful. Definitely one of the more powerful strength shooters that we have right now. I think Bartholomew Kuma is also a shooter as well, and he's actually pretty powerful as well. So, you know, Absalom as well, bringing a brand new powerful strength type shooter to the game, and his captain effect will boost the attack of shooter characters by 2 times, a very, very standard captain effect. And his special, which starts at 23 turns and maxes at 14 turns, exactly the same as Perona from the previous Fortnite dungeon, will reduce damage received by 50% for 2 turns and boost the recovery by 2 times for 2 turns. So overall, the unit is kind of average. You know, the unit is okay, I guess. Being able to boost recovery can give you, you know, that little bit of extra health that you might need inside of a dungeon. And also, it will halve the damage that you take for 2 turns. So it's kind of like a smoker in a way. So anyways, that is the breakdown of the unit itself. Now let's go ahead and break down the actual dungeon itself and what you'll need to take on this brand new Fortnite dungeon. So moving on to the breakdown of the fight, we have the condition here which states that only quick, dex, psi, and recovery orbs will appear in the dungeon. Now, this is a little bit different from Perona's. Perona's only had strength, I think it was strength, quick, int, and recovery, and now they are changing out the int and strength for dex and psi. So this is going to be interesting here because it will kind of make you switch up what type of units you would typically bring to a Fortnite dungeon. And when you do reach the midway of this dungeon, the battle 5 of 10, you'll encounter the mini-boss being the General Zombie. Now the General Zombie is also accompanied by Absalom as well, who has about 50,000 health. But looking at the zombie here, he has 120,000 health approximately, with an attack of 3,195, which is pretty powerful at an interval of 2. So that is pretty manageable there. And as I said, Absalom will be found there as well at around 50,000 health, and he will blind you, which is a brand new type of hindrance to you inside of a battle coming to global version, being the blind status, which means that you will not be able to see your combo chain when you go and hit for a perfect. So you'll be blinded, and you basically have to time it all on listening and looking at the character's animation. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to actually complete this dungeon. But if you're using very familiar units to you, then it makes the dungeon, you know, just a little bit more challenging. But, you know, if you're bringing units that you have never used before, or units with really weird timings, this dungeon could be a little bit of a challenge. And the General Zombie as well, when he goes below 20% health, he will recover and increase his attack slightly. So that is something to just take note of when you are taking on the General Zombie at stage 5. And the hidden boss for the dungeon, which is Jigoro of the Wind, which has a HP of 140,000 with an attack of 3,240, and he will attack you every turn with an interval of 1. So this is actually really, really hard to take down. If you do end up, you know, getting below 20% health, he will deal 8,800 damage to you. So, you know, you want to be making sure that, you know, before that 20%, you know, range, you want to be bursting him down as quickly as possible. So now that we've gone through the mid-boss and the hidden boss, let's go ahead and talk about the final boss being Absalom. So once you make it to stage 10 of 10, you will find the final boss being Absalom. Now, Absalom's HP is around about 680,000 with an attack of 5,229 with an interval of 2, which will go down to 1. Now, Absalom notes, now just talking about Absalom himself, he has no preemptive attack, which is a little bit different because we are kind of used to, encountering a final boss where they might have a preemptive attack, whether it be damage, orb manipulation, the silencing with Perona, exactly like that we had in the last Fortnite dungeon. So, Absalom has no preemptive attack, which is a little bit better, considering, you are silenced for the whole dungeon once you reach the midway. It does make it a little bit more challenging, so it is kind of good that they aren't really giving us any preemptive attack. However, after the first attack, he will change all of your crew to tandem orbs. Now, we will go into a little bit more about that later, but you can actually utilize that to your advantage to basically beat this dungeon very, very quickly. We'll go into that later, and when he's able to attack again, he will buff his attack and defense and initiate a debuff protector for 999 turns for each buff. So, at the second turn or the third turn, when he's able to attack again, he will basically increase attack defense and a debuff protector for the rest of the dungeon. So this could be a little bit challenging as well. Buffing his defense, you want to be making sure you burst him down very, very quickly before he gets that defense boost. And his attack will increase by 1,050 after the attack increase, which means that each time he attacks you, he'll be dealing 6,279 damage. So definitely a very, very annoying boss because of that Captain Silence, the blinding status that will happen to your crew at stage 5 of 10. And yeah, as I said, it just makes it a lot more challenging to beat this dungeon. But now that we've gone through the dungeon itself, let's go ahead and talk about the skill books that will be able to be dropped within this dungeon. So the first of the skill books that you'll be able to drop that is probably the most notable is the Massacre Soldier Killer, which deals massive damage to one foe at the cost of reducing your HP to 1. So that is a really, really nice special, especially for the teams such as like Whitebeard teams and any other team that really need low health. That is just a really good way to do a lot of damage to your opponent. Very, very nice special to have at max level. Also, you'll be able to find Mr. 2-Bond Clay as well, which will change recovery to Psyorbs used in those Garp teams. You use Garp special, and then you use Bond Clay, and then you'll have a full team of Psyorbs. Very, very powerful special that one is. Also, there is Sanji Diable Jambe Flambe, which will deal 5,000 damage to all enemies. Very, very nice special. Once again, all of these specials are really, really nice. Basically like utility specials. Definitely with Sanji, especially later on down the track. You'll actually probably need Diable Jambe to be at a pretty high skill level, if not max, so definitely make sure you guys go ahead and do that. And also you'll get Guard Point Chopper, which is basically like Smoker, reduces damage taken by 50% for 3 turns. Pretty nice special. And now that we've gone through the notable skill books, you will be able to find Jigoro of the Wind and the General Zombie books as well, and then you can drop Absalom to get his special up as well. Now that we've gone through all of that, let's go ahead and talk about the teams that you should be using to take on this dungeon. Now this might look a little bit confusing at first, but let's go ahead and go through this. So the first part of this panel here is the recommended leads that you should take into the dungeon. So basically, if you have any of these combinations, they should be able to work pretty well for you, as long as you can hit your perfects or hit greats as well. Making sure you don't go below a certain amount of health if you're using Boa. You got to make sure you don't take any health if you've got Thatch as well. Thatch is a very, very risky one to use, but if you are very, very good with your perfects, then Thatch should be a perfect lead for you in this dungeon. If you guys don't have Ace or Jozu or Boa or Thatch, you can use Capone, you can use Lucci. You could even use Diable Jambe if you don't have any of these units as well. You just want to make sure you have a lot of damage output with your quick units. So any of those combinations of leads would be very, very nice. I wouldn't really recommend double Jozu because you don't really get a lot of damage output. But if you really want to go that route, you can. But I would really recommend, if you have a Jozu and you want to use Jozu, go ahead and use him with Ace or a Boa. That would be very, very nice, giving you a lot of HP because you get 2 times HP instead of 4 times, and you also get it's like something like, if you're using Ace, you get 5 times attack. If it's Boa, it's something a lot higher than that. So definitely, if you want to use Jozu, use Ace or Boa as a friend captain. And yeah, for those people that don't have those really high units, you can use Lucci or Capone or Diable Jambe. Now, the recommended sub units. Now, I've got 2 combinations here of units that you could use. The first one is the Baroque Work Quick Officer. Now, the Baroque Works Officer here, or the Baroque Works, I think it's the Saber unit, I can't remember the name of it, but he's the quick one that will change all tandem orbs to blue orbs, so that is very, very useful. Then you can use Hina to lock those orbs, and then you can use Kaku to give you the double effectiveness of those orbs for 2 turns. So it gives you, for 2 turns, a full team of blue orbs with double effectiveness when Absalom changes all of your crew to tandem orbs, or if you do not have the Baroque Works Officer, you can go ahead and use Lulu and Miss Valentine. So if you use it in that order, you'll get a full team of blue orbs, which you can lock with Hina, and then you can use Kaku once again. This is probably the most effective way to take down Absalom, because in 2 turns with double effectiveness of blue orbs, you pretty much can take him down. You know, he's got about 680,000 health, so you should be able to take him down very, very quickly using that combination. If you guys don't want to go that route and you just want to use all out power and not really combinations to beat him, you can go ahead and use Killer, Sanji, Jinbei as well, very, very powerful quick unit, and any of the captains as you see above, if you actually didn't use them as a captain, they're very, very good sub units as well. So that is going to conclude yet another video. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and if you guys did, make sure to smack the like button down below, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.